favorite courses at Sunnyside that maybe help direct you to where you want to be having a career?
I know for sure the main one is the one that influenced my career choice is AP Computer Science Principles. I took that last year, and I really loved that class. I loved coding, and I loved learning about binary code and softwares and JavaScript and different coding languages. And I got to take my teacher for that, Ms. Vincent. She was inspiring to me. That's one of the main reasons why I want to be a software engineer. And other courses, definitely math. I love math, and it's like incredible to me. I'm not really I'm not a creative type. I'm more of a hard set on oh sorry, I think that's gonna go off for, but I'm like hard set on like science. Like there's only one way to prove something, and math for sure. So calculus, definitely this year I took AP Calc BC. My teacher, I had him for my freshman year in geometry. He's a great teacher. I really love that. I really love that class, and I think it made me want to push further into STEM. I think for sure physiology. No, I know it's not really going to be a big part of my career choice, but I just love the teacher too, Mr. Sue. It was a fun class, learning about the different body parts of human anatomy. But mainly calculus and computer science is the main two that really influenced me a lot.
And when you were a kid in elementary and middle school, I mean, did you kind of know back then, it's like, I'm pretty interested in math and things, or were you still kind of figuring stuff out?
So I do want to be a software engineer, but for a long time, I've always known I wanted to be an engineer. I just didn't know what type of engineer, but I knew for sure that I always wanted to do something with math, something with building something, right? And engineering was always like something that just stuck to me. Like since I was a kid, I think when in kindergarten, I remember I had an Xbox. I would pretend that I was like a inventor who would use that Xbox to make a time machine and silly stuff like that. But I knew for sure that that engineering aspect was always there since a young age. I just loved the idea of making stuff.
So did you tell your parents, hey, I want to be an engineer, and what did they say?
I think I remember, telling my dad that that's what I wanted to do. I remember telling him that, Dad, I want to be an engineer, and he was like, that's good, son. I think they cared more about as long as I have a good career and that I'm set for my future. So I think they were pretty proud of me to go into that field, know that I have a career choice set in mind. I know for sure, I would always tell my mom and dad since I was young what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be an engineer. I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and they're like, okay, good, just make sure you buy me a house when I'm older. I'm like, yeah, I will for sure.
So you knew when you were fairly young, and you knew you kind of were preparing yourself then in terms of being able to focus on your studies even as a young kid, it sounds like.
Yeah, I always knew that I had a difficult challenge coming for me, because especially in the math part. So since I was young, I always wanted to do good in school. I think I always did good in school. So I always had good grades, always was on top of my work, and I was always that one kid in class that everyone asked for answers for. So yeah, I knew I had to stay on track with my school course.
You said difficult challenge just now. Can you kind of explain what you meant?
Well, I know for sure that, especially in software engineers, there's it's competitive, very competitive. So I know there's still more difficulty to come. And I guess by difficulty, I mean, I just have to make sure that I'm one of the top students in that department, that I make sure that people know that I can and can be one of the best people in that field. It's just overcoming that competitiveness and be on top.
So there's kind of a long road ahead of you, but it sounds like you're prepared to do what you need to do.
Yeah, I am very prepared, especially with the school that I'm going to, UC Berkeley. I wanted to go to that school mainly because Silicon Valley is where a lot of tech stuff is at, tech companies, and I know for sure that's going to help me a lot, help me achieve my goals to be one of the tops, because that's where I can get internships and know people, network, get those connections to people, so that way I further myself in the field.
Hang on a second. He said plans to attend Fresno State in the fall.
Oh, yeah, plans have changed.
Excellent.
Yeah, I doubt myself a lot, so I thought I wasn't gonna get into UC Berkeley, so my plans were just I had early on I was like, okay, I probably won't get into these schools, so I'm just gonna focus on Fresno State. But I got the acceptance letter, and plans changed. So
Are you the first in your family to go to a UC?
I am. No, well, first, no. I'm the second one over, not intermediate family, but family in general. I had an older cousin. She went to UC Santa Barbara, but I'm the first in my intermediate family to go to UC.
I heard you got lots of scholarships. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. Well, for starters, I had the Fresno Unified Scholarship. I was the highest award recipient for Sunnyside. I think it's $4,800 that I got from that one, and then there was another one. It was a Sunnyside only scholarship. It was GP Tech. Is this company? They're Sunnyside alumni. That started a company, decided to give scholarship money to Sunnyside, and I was one of the recipients, $1,000. And then there's this other one. It's East Fresno Rotary. I don't know if you heard of them, but I got $2,000 from them as well, and still waiting on some more.
Is there any Cal grant or anything like that you?
Oh yeah, the financial aid. Yeah, I sure got a lot. I think from the Cal grant I got $13,000. And then I know UC Berkeley also gives some scholarships, so I think I got some from there. But I know for sure the first year, I think I'm pretty much set. I don't have to worry about that money, because I knew for sure that it was going to be expensive. And well, my dad isn't I know for sure he couldn't help me with that, so I knew I had to apply for scholarships. But thank goodness that financial aid gave me enough, so I don't have to worry about that for the first year.
So, do you know anybody else who's going to Berkeley?
My friend Gerardo, he's going to Berkeley. He's going to be a mechanical engineer. He's one of my best buds. And then my roommate also, his name's Antonio. They both go to Sunnyside, so they'll be attending UC Berkeley with me.
You say you called him your roommate.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be roommates, me and Antonio.
Do you have a dorm already?
Yeah, we did all the housing stuff and we got all that situated.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. So are you excited or are you just exhausted?
I think excited and exhausted. It's been a lot. These past 4 years have been a lot, especially with the pandemic. But mostly excited. I just know for sure this summer I just want a little bit of time, like a grace period, get that time to just enjoy the summer, just prepare myself for what's to come and for the next, chapter of my life, the next 4 years of difficulty.
Now, are you going to be majoring in computer science or to be a software engineer or
Yeah, I'm going to be majoring in computer science.
Mm-hmm.
I think, major in computer science, maybe electrical engineering and computer science.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a double major?
Maybe a double major, yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. I just want to strive to be the best that I possibly can. I just want to make my parents proud.
I'm sure they already are.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have like a ranking in your class? Are you a valedictorian? Or?
Yeah, I'm a valedictorian, and I think I'm ranked 30 out of 670. I know it's not the best rank, but
You're a valedictorian.
But I am a valedictorian, yeah.
How many valedictorians are there?
I think there's 73.
What's your GPA?
It's at a 4.23.
And how did you do on your AP Calculus?
Oh, well, I'm still waiting on the results. The results don't come out to July, but the computer science one is the one I took last year. I got a 4 out of 5, so that's pretty good.
And that's passing.
It is passing, yeah.
I think 3.
At 3 is passing,
Three is
yeah.
passing, yeah.
Yeah, I think I could have done better though. My freshman year, I got a little discouraged. I kind of lost motivation my freshman year. I was just going through a lot from the past 8th grade. Just a lot happened with my family, so 9th grade I was just kind of losing. I was lacking motivation, and I kind of dropped in my grades. I wasn't doing the best, but around pandemic, I decided that that's not who I am. That's not what I set my goals out for, and I just turned everything around, and my grades just excelled from there, straight A's. But I just wish that freshman year was a little different. I knew I could get straight A's. I was lacking that motivation.
What was happening in middle school? Can you share any of that?
Yeah, it was a pretty tough time. I do have older brothers. Just middle, so 8th grade is it was pretty traumatic time in my life. Towards the second semester of my 8th grade year, my brothers they suffer a lot. They were especially my oldest brother. he suffered a lot with drugs and alcohol, and they lived with us for a time. But my second semester, I remember there was this one time my brothers had come in. It was I remember it was the day before winter break ended, so it was a Sunday, and Monday I had to go back to school. But I remember it was my brothers, they came home drunk, and my dad, he had to go to work, so it was pretty late, and he told them to be quiet, to stop being so loud and obnoxious, and things escalated from there, and one thing led to another. And my dad, I just remember my dad, he was bloody, so yeah, they had assaulted my dad. So that was pretty rough. I just remember that I think it's my freshman year, I felt immense guilt because I couldn't help my dad. I remember I was thinking that I was weak and I wasn't strong enough, and I couldn't do anything to prevent them, because I remember I had ran out so I can go get some help from my dad, and I just remember thinking that why did I leave? Why didn't I do anything? So I guess this my freshman year is just me reflecting on that and me thinking I wasn't enough.
You were just a little kid.
Yeah.
But you felt guilty because you couldn't help your dad.
Yeah. Violence is something that I kind of grew up with. There's been a lot of fights, and throughout my life, I've seen a lot of unfortunate, fights between my family members, between my brothers especially. Yeah, I love him. I just wish that I could do more for him, but I know that you can only do so much for someone else. And I think just the best thing I can do is be the best person for myself. But yeah, I think one of the main reasons why I want to be the best and do all this for school, valedictorian and achieve for a greater, is because I want to set an example for everyone else, set an example for my little siblings, set an example for my little cousins, and just show that I can end the cycle of, drugs, alcohol, and not going to college or not completing high school or not going to prison. And I think I did do that. I think that I showed that there's a different way. There's a different pathway that especially in the Mexican community, right? We don't have to join a gang. We don't have to, fall into that life of violence, life of drugs, life of crime. We can become more. We can be college graduates. We can be professionals in different types of field, in the medical field, engineering field, all those types of field. And I think that I'm creating that pathway right now to show and exemplify in my community that it can be done.
So now, are you the first of your siblings to go to college, or have others gone?
My oldest sister, she's gone to college. And she went to Fresno State. She's an accountant. And that's also one of my inspirations is her. I just want to take a moment to appreciate her and to thank her, and maybe give her names. It's Christina. She's one of my biggest inspirations. I think one of the biggest inspirations. Since I was a little kid, I remember looking up to her and saying that I also want to be a college graduate. I want to be like her. I want to have a profession and show everybody that I can be someone great. And she did that for me. She helped me through this journey of high school. She helped me apply for colleges. She helped me apply for these scholarships, and she taught me that I can be something great, and that I'm smart and capable of many things. Me and Christina, we're 15 years apart. Yeah, I think I got lucky in that aspect that I had an oldest sister that was, had that significant age gap. She was more of another mom to me than a sister, because she's so much older than me. I see her as like another mom, someone I can look up to. I remember in like my sophomore years and junior year, and freshman year, I would always go over to her house. So her house was like a second home to me. She would always welcome me and treat me like if I was her son, not just like a brother, like a son. And her husband too. He's been in my life since I was little. Like I said, that 15-year age gap is significant enough to where when they started dating, I was like 5. So he's always been in my life, and he's like another brother to me. I think he's the brother. He was a great role model to me. I think he's also one of the main reasons why I'm not in violence or crime. And I just want to thank him as well. It's Clint Jurado. He's a great inspiration to me as well.
Was he kind of hands-on or just more like a role model?
He's hands-on, and I think a little bit of both. He may not have gone to college, but he's still amazing at what he does. And I think just showing me that, because he also steered away from that life of crime and violence and drugs. And I think just watching him do what he does just he gave me a positive male role model. And as long as my dad too, they both were positive male role models to me. But Clint was there for me, in my tough times when I was sad, like maybe I was sad about a girlfriend or something like that. He was there to talk to me about it, right? Because my biological older brothers, they weren't there much to talk to me about these things. But he was there to talk to me about, like girls and stuff like that. I think he just gave me the big brother figure that I needed.
Have you encountered any of that, of people who were like, well, you just think you're so much, and trying to pull you down?
Yeah, I think probably my elementary school friends. A lot of them now, they're not doing so well. I have friends that I've known since like second grade that are in gangs now or in prison. And I think just they thought maybe I thought of myself as better than them, and maybe like showing off too. But I think my reaction to all of that is that that's not it. I just want to show everybody that we can steer away from what they did, what they failed to do. And I just think that it was foolish of them to think that I was trying to show off. I'm just trying to be a better person for our community, because I know Fresno, it's not the best in terms of like violence and crime, and I think maybe me steering away from that is just little compared to the amount of violence and crime, but I think that it's enough in terms of the fact that I can show everybody else that this is what we can do. So I think maybe my little change is significant in the future. For sure, my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Chavez, I think just his story motivated me even more. He was, immigrant from Mexico, and he was able to get the opportunity to go to Fresno Pacific with the soccer scholarship and become a teacher. And I think knowing that coming from a foreign country and able to succeed in life just made me think that I'm just from the city. I'm just from a different city, right? So I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it too. And for sure, with the stories like that, similar to my 6th grade teacher, my dad, I think he's also another one of my inspirations. I think.
What's your dad's story?
Well, my dad grew up in a small little town called Chiquilislan. It's a little town in Jalisco.
Okay.
And that's where my dad grew up, and he didn't have a lot growing up. He was very poor. Like sometimes they couldn't even eat because of how poor they were. And I know he left his home at like the age of 14 to go to a bigger city, Tijuana. Mm-hmm. And he was on his own there. He was like hustling. He was out there just selling like street vendors and such and whatnot. He was selling little stuff to just get by. And I think is when he turned 18 is when he came to Fresno, and he worked a lot of jobs, like restaurant jobs. He was a cook, washed dishes, and sometimes he would but he worked as much as he could. He told me that he would try to get as much hours as possible. Like when people asked if like he could cover my shifts, my dad was there. And I think just knowing that my dad was able to, build buy a home and have all these kids and be able to, clothe these kids and feed these kids from basically, he did it from nothing. It's just inspirational to me. My dad really showed me that hard work and determination is what gets you places. Like, no matter how hard life gets, you can do it. Like, there's no point in giving up. Life may throw a lot of difficulties at you, and my dad for sure had many difficulties, more than I had, right? Like, my life is nothing compared to my dad. And I just know that, like I said before, if he can do it, I can do it too.
I'm imagining that if he had to leave home so early to go to Tijuana, that he probably didn't get much schooling either, so.
No, unfortunately, both my parents, my dad, I think he only went to middle school and that was it. And my mom, I don't even think she made it past the second grade. So.
And where did she grow up?
She grew up in Michoacan in a little town called Tanimireche. So I know for sure she also had a difficult life. In Mexico, she was poor too. Her dad had my grandpa, right? He had to come here to work, right? And while her family was still in Mexico, so her dad was absent, and I know for sure she faced a lot of abuse from her uncles. Like, they would just talk a lot of stuff about her. They would make her work is why she couldn't go to school, because she had to work for her family. She was a little girl working out in the fields, just doing what she could for her family. And I think knowing that my mom had such a difficult life, like she had to work such, and so did my dad. They both worked really little. My dad was out there in the mountains, like with coal, I think, just with charcoal, as like a 5-year-old. And just knowing that that's what they had to go through, I know for sure that them coming here and giving me this opportunity, I can't waste it. I have to give my parents a better life. I know for sure for their retirement, I want them to live a life of luxury, and I want to be able to do that for them. Especially my mom, she was always there for me, right? My dad, his work, he has to travel out of town for work, so he's only here for like Thursday to Sunday. So it was only my mom was the one that was here the most, right? She would cook for us, she would clean for us, she would walk us to school, she would take care of us when we're sick. And I know for sure that even now she still does all this while she has a job. And I just really grateful for my mom that she was able to do all this stuff for us. And I think that's what also gives me my motivation now. I want to give my parents a life of luxury.
It sounds like when you get to Berkeley, in your room in the dorm, you're going to have pictures of your parents there as inspiration.
Oh yeah, for sure. I never want to forget my family. And I know for sure that a lot of people think when you leave the city or like the place you grew up, is you just want to get away from them. But I think for myself is I want to get away in order to help us. I think Berkeley just would provide something more for me that Fresno can't, and I think it just further help me with my, help me provide for my family. So for sure, I would definitely have photos of my parents. Yeah, I think recently I have been realizing that I'm leaving, and that it's not going to be that, like you said, that we're not, it's kind of far away, but not really, but it won't be the same. I know for sure I think it's going to be pretty difficult with my mom. I know sometimes she jokes around and she's like, I can't come with you, and I know for sure, especially because I'm her firstborn, so I think that's going to be a little harder on my mom. And I think I just been preparing myself to not wake up and see my family, to wake up and see my roommate, to not be able to see them every day, and not get to share those same laughs and memories that I have been sharing with them.
So that's going to be the hard part about going to Berkeley.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be the hardest part of going to Berkeley is my family. I just know I won't go. I won't go for no reason. I'm going to go to succeed. So I hope that at least that makes them proud and happy, that knowing that their son's out there doing something great for himself. I do have a car.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're gonna take it to campus?
I can't for the first year. Yeah, because this is just a bunch of students, so parking gets a little. They don't let freshmen have the car.
Trust me, you don't even want to have a car
Yeah,
on campus.
I was planning on taking my skateboard and ride around campus and ride wherever I have to go.
How are you about riding uphill on that skateboard?
I think I'm a pretty good skater. Skating for sure is one of the influences in my life as well. I love skating.
Any opportunity to have that kind of work experience, super important.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna jump right on those. I just want the experience as much as possible. Any opportunity I see, I'm going to go for it. Like I said, it's definitely in the Silicon Valley, right? I want to get as much experience and connections as possible in order to help me with my future career.
Could you bring it back here to Fresno and make all of us better?
I for sure can. I think software engineers is a field that is very needed, especially in this day and age, right? Just a lot of computers and software and apps that is never gonna end, right? Especially with artificial intelligence being a new thing. I know for sure that I will have many job opportunities here, and not just here, anywhere.
Do you have any apps that you want to develop or things that you've been thinking about? You mentioned Xbox before, and I'm thinking maybe you're into gaming.
Yeah, I am into gaming.
Yeah.
I think as of right now, I have been looking into like maybe freelancing a bit, maybe even starting my own company if I can, but maybe like games for sure. I think I want to make a game, but even if I don't, I think I just want to make maybe just work for like Google, Amazon, those companies like that. And if given the opportunity, for sure, I think I'll jump on a game. Like maybe even with my friend, I have another friend who's also interested in computer science. So
that's gotta be a little bit reassuring that you kind of already know some folks.
Especially with Gerardo, he's one of my closest friends. I've known him since like my freshman year of high school. And this past year we just gotten closer, and we share the same interests, calculus and engineering field. And I know for sure that he's going to be one of my support systems that I have over there, and I'll be also his support system too. And I think it's just reassuring to me that I have him coming with me.
When you weren't studying it and taking hard courses at Sunnyside, what were you doing for fun?
Well, for fun, like I mentioned, skating.
Did you belong to any clubs or?
So my sophomore year is when I first joined the club. I did the book club. I think that's the only club that I did my sophomore year. Yeah, and then my junior year I joined the science club, and I think that's also the only club I did that year. But my senior year is when I really started doing more clubs. I did a rocket club, robotics club, math club too. And I also did AP ambassador, maybe not for fun, but for sure for fun, robotics and rocket club.
So if you get passing grades in those AP courses, you're already starting at Berkeley with some credits under your belt.
Yeah, like I said, I did pass the computer science one, and I also passed an English one too, so I have those. And then hopefully I passed the calculus one, and I think I did. I think I did pretty good on that one.
You'll be halfway through your freshman year already if you pass that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it'll get you able to register for classes quicker than everybody else.
I hope so.
You said rock club. Do you mean like?
Oh, rocket club. Sorry.
Oh, rocket. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were shooting rockets?
Oh, this past weekend, we had made a model rocket. I have it in my room right now. We had made a model rocket and we shot it in this event. It was pretty cool.
How high did it go?
I want to say like a couple hundred feet.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did it blow up?
No, it's perfectly intact.
Unlike Elon Musk.
Yeah, unlike Elon Musk.
Or whoever's rocket just blew up.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rockets there, high-powered ones too, that went up like thousands of feet in the air. Like they clear out the airspace so airplanes don't fly through it just for that event.
Right.
Last year, I think my senior year was a little easier than my junior year. I took 5 AP courses last year. Yeah. So for sure I had it easier this year. So it was a little easier to manage those clubs and my grades.
Which 5 did you take last year?
I took AP Bio, AP Computer Science. I took AP Calc AB, AP Composition and Language. That's 4, right? I'm trying to think of the last one. What was the last one? Said AP Bio, Computer Science, Calc AB, Composition.
It's okay if you don't think of it.
Huh, yeah, I can't remember.
Let me ask you, are you bilingual at all? I know you said your parents are.
Yeah, I speak Spanish and English,
Okay.
both fluently. I just got my seal by literacy. Yeah.
I was going to ask that very question. So you've got the biliteracy seal that's on your diploma too.
Yeah.
That's also important to be in the software industry, because having somebody who's got those
Yeah.
skills.
I'm glad that I that my mom and dad taught me Spanish before English, because I think that just helped me.
Were you an English as a second language student when you were growing up?
Yeah, I was ELD, I think it's called, up until the second grade is when I think I passed that English test. Yeah, I know for sure. Going to my kindergarten year, I think I only spoke Spanish, so it was a little difficult, But I think I picked up English quick, and so even then, as a Spanish speaker only in kindergarten, I think I remember being one of the best in the classes. So I think that language barrier wasn't much of a challenge for me.
What kind of helped you to stay on path?
I think what helped me is, again, I wanted to be different from them. So I think knowing that if I just fall into what they did, I wouldn't be any better than they are. So I think that change that I wanted to do is what really helped me. I wanted to strive away from them. I wanted to be different from them. I think that's what really, really helped me. Just change my freshman year into sophomore year. Like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be like them. I want to be different. I want to be someone better.
So it was almost like you got a little bit more mature at that point, and you said, that's not the life I want. I know what I want, and I know how to get there. I just need to start working for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that event really made me mature more than most my age. I really started focusing on like myself and my career choices and my what's to come. And I think I just started preparing myself for challenges in life, and I think that event really gave me that maturity.
What's your favorite part about Sunnyside?
I think for sure the kids there, the community. There's a lot of kids that you can share passions with. So like it's not just like one thing. There's a range of different people that have different interests, and you can really find a friend or friends that share your interest, and you can really like feel like you belong at Sunnyside. This is the rocket that we shot out. Me and my friends Gerardo and my other friend who was also interested in computer science, Leah, we went out there. We had 3 rockets and we shot them up in the air. And this is the one that I helped create, basically mine. So.
What kind of fuel did you use?
So we have motors right here that goes into the engine mount, and I forgot what it was called. I think it's like a C6, something like that. So it was pretty cool.
Who decided on the color scheme?
I did. Me and my Leo. Not my Leo, but me and my friend Leah.
Yeah.
We decided on the color scheme. And also I remember that AP class that I took is AP US History.
AP US History.
Yeah,
okay.
I blanked out.
That's right.
Explain the color or something?
So the rocket is called Red Max. So we thought it'd be funny if we made it pink because it was red, and for the name we named it Is It Pink? Yeah, we just thought it would be funny.
Is it pink?
Yeah, and then we had a different rocket it's like this rocket, but it was red, and we named it Baby Blue.
Nice.
Yeah, we just thought it would be funny names.
So is that the first rocket you ever made?
No, actually, in calculus this year we made bottle rockets, and so we had 2 liters soda cans, and that was the first rocket that I made, and mine I think had won the highest launch. So.
And that was in calculus?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. We had an extra day, so that one my teacher has, because he wanted to show an example of a good rocket. Right here, it's this type of wood. It's a very it's not that hard of wood. It's just like a kind of like a wood foam, and then this one right here, it's just like it's made out of paper towels. The roll, that's what that is, and then this is a plastic cone, and then inside is the parachute and the shock cord.
And did it come down on the parachute?
Yeah. So the nose cone, it pops off when like it reaches a certain altitude, and the parachute, it unravels and it just floats down.
And all the pieces stay together.
Yeah, all the pieces stay together if it's built properly. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's big rockets out there that, you know, like I said, reach thousands of feet in the air. And then just recently, I think for my calculus class, we had this trip at Disneyland. So that was pretty fun. I just came back on Tuesday and got this R2-D2 and a lightsaber. I like Star Wars, if you couldn't tell.
What was it like? I mean, you were a freshman at Sunnyside, and then the pandemic hit, and then you were suddenly trying to study from home. But that was your sophomore year, though, right?
Yeah, that was my sophomore year. I think I know for many people it was a very rough time for them. And I'm not gonna say that it wasn't a rough time for me. It was, but I think mainly it was like kind of a refresher for me. Like I said, my freshman year wasn't the best, so I used my sophomore year to turn it around, and it really helped me have that like kind of like alone time to work on myself and my grades, and that's when my grades really went up, and I took the time to just focus on school, and I would like basically just I would wake up, school, right, and then after I would just work out, eat, and then repeat. So.
Sounds like it was a time for you to sort of reset.
Yeah, it definitely was. But it was a hard time though. I know many people lost family members, and I did too. I lost my grandpa to COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. With this one right here, I know this one for sure is one of my favorites because it has most of my siblings in here, and when we're older, right? So I just think it's one of my favorites because like coming out of the pandemic and we got to see each other again, and it's like it's very rare for us to all be together. So I think I just enjoy this photo because it captures that rare moment of us being together, being happy, smiling, and all of us loving each other. See, I was 16 in this picture, so it's like 2 years old.
And you're on the far right?
Yeah, right here.
You want to just go ahead and point everybody else out?
Oh yeah, right here is my older brother Brian. Then right here is my older sister Kimby. That's my dad. That's my little brother Jesus. That's my little sister Jasmine, and that's my oldest sister Christina. And my oldest brother is missing from this photo. And this is also another one of my favorite photos. I was really close to my little siblings growing up, right? Because we have it's not that big of an age gap, so they're like my friends growing up. Especially my little brother, he's like my best friend because we shared a room for like the longest time. So I think this photo I love it so much because it shows us as little kids, right? That we were like friends, we were close together, and I just love that we're all here together,
And how old were you?
I was, I think I was 5. I was 5 in this picture. And I also like the shirts that my mom chose for the picture too. I know for sure that it's also going to be hard on my little sister when I leave to college. I know she's going to be sad. My little brother too. They've told me that they don't want me to go. I know it's going to be tough, not like for them to also wake up and for the older brother not to be here. And then this other photo right here is of me as a baby. Yeah, I think I was like 1 year old, but I really like this photo a lot too. One of my favorites because you see me playing with my dad. Right? I think I don't know, maybe he just came home from work, but I just like that me and my dad are playing together, enjoying the moment and laughing, and then my mom's just watching us, enjoying it too, right? And I think it's just like for me, it just like exemplifies joy and happy moments together.